Hello and welcome to Lost Boys Versus. I'm Tandy, joined by Harlan Fear. Say hi, Harlan.
Hi, Harlan.
We're the Lost Boys, and on today's Lost Boys Versus, we're going to be piloting some decks from the most recent Invitational Qualifier held at Apex Gaming. That's for the TCG Player Invitational that we're going to be holding on October 20th weekend, and we crowned a champion in Nicholas Rausch and his Amber Steel Stitch Blitz deck. Harlan, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so it's a super powerful, high ceiling aggro deck. So you are just playing characters to the board every turn, dump in your hand, and then you're using cards like Stitch Rockstar and A Whole New World to just keep the resources flowing and just get them dead.
Yeah, Stitch Rockstar is a card that I have been playing a ton. This is a really unique and powerful 6 drop. The big shift onto the 1 drop Stitch New Dog gives it some really powerful openers with Stitch Rockstar, and I've loved it. And Nicholas Rausch apparently loves it too. Took down the whole event using that really aggressive start with Lilo and Simba. Lilo is one of 2 characters that cost 1 to play and quest for 2 lore. And Amber leans heavy on bodyguards thanks to Simba Protective Cub. And so I think that just naturally makes Amber one of the better aggressive colors. This build is kind of hybridizing being hyper aggressive and defensive in the early turns. We're using Captain Hook Forceful Duelist as well as the 2-cost Prince Eric Challenger. And we're using these as ways to essentially prevent our opponent from gaining a foothold early on the table. And then as the game goes super late and we're just flooding the board with characters, we don't really care if our stuff gets challenged once we already have 6, 7 characters in play.
Yeah, exactly. Those 2 cards are perfect for kind of having an anti-aggro package in your deck that still double as characters that you can exert with your Stitch Rockstar to keep your cards flowing while not having to play cards like Smash.
So this deck does play Smash, but it's not like super leaning into it heavily. It actually has 3 copies of Smash and 2 Fire the Cannons. This is mostly a nod to trying to empty your hand before you play A Whole New World. And Whole New World is a 5-cost steel song that says each player discards their hand and draws 7 cards. This is a very powerful effect if you can empty your hand. One of the easiest ways to empty your hand in this game for value is to play cheap characters. And so Whole New World and Stitch Rockstar both incentivize playing tons of 1 and 2-cost characters. And we even have a nice little trick with Ariel Spectacular Singer, which can sing A Whole New World way ahead of schedule and allows you to curve 1, 2, 3, and then on turn 4 you can empty your hand all the way, draw 7, and refuel.
Yeah, that is the play pattern of the deck, and it is hard to beat when it all comes together.
Yeah, for sure. This build is unique because it goes a little bit heavier on the interaction, and it has some characters with some really high willpower. We're playing 3 copies of Tinkerbell Tiny Tactician and 4 copies of Tinkerbell Giant Fairy. This is our anti-aggro package combined with Hook Forceful Duelist and Prince Eric. We're kind of skirting the line.
Yeah, exactly. I think that those cards, especially being inkable, just let you have this extra dynamic to your deck where you can have these powerful mid-rangey draws, especially when you are on the draw in an aggro matchup, and really lets you break serve and win a game on the draw that, other aggressive decks don't have access to a powerful effect like that.
Now, we talked a little bit with Nick Rausch after his victory on Saturday, and his deck looked great. He played great, and he seemed like he really knew what he was talking about. So I think he's going to be a really powerful competitor in our 16-player invite-only invitational that we're going to be doing at Apex Gaming on October 20th weekend, and that's sponsored by TCG Player. Now, Harlan, you're playing in the event, but you're not necessarily playing the deck that you're going to be playing today. Tell us what you're going to be playing today and what you like about it.
Yeah, so I actually am going to be playing Randall Webbing's Emerald Amethyst aggro deck from the Invitational Qualifier that Nick Rausch's deck is from. And, we kind of want to showcase just kind of how the tournament could have gone, if the matchups had been a little different, and show what the common metagame decks are. And yeah, this is an Emerald Amethyst aggro deck, which is, similar to I think everybody, when they think of aggro, in this game in Lorcana, think of, the Amber Steel deck that you're playing, and then Emerald Amber. But this is Emerald Amethyst, and it still plays Cusco and Hans, all the big Emerald threats, but you get a steady flow of card advantage off of your friends on the other side, your Maleficent Sorceress, and then you also get some anti-aggro cards, similar to that Tinkerbell package, a little less powerful, a little, lower to the ground, though, in Rafiki Mysterious Sage.
Yeah, so Rafiki is uninkable, which is the only real downside. If this was inkable, I would say that it's maybe the best card in the game or in the top 5.
Yes.
Basically, what it does is that it gives Amethyst a strong early contender to rumble with your opponent's characters, especially Simba Bodyguard that protects Lilo. They build this house of cards, and Rafiki is a great way to break it. It's just not inkable, and so it has some real tension, especially in an Emerald shell, because Emerald's primary good cards are going to be mostly non-inkable. That's your Genie on the Jobs, Mother Knows Best. Your interactive stuff is traditionally not inkable.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a balance you have to strike with a deck like this, is that you do have all of those non-inkables. It does help, at least in Amethyst decks, having Maleficent and friends on the other side. You do, you get to go through a few extra cards to find your ink. And then also, when push comes to shove, those cards are also inkable. So I haven't had too much trouble with Amethyst decks, really having your ink hitting your ink drops, but you do have to keep it within reason. You can't just go off the handle and have like 25 uninkables in your deck. You do have to keep it within reason.
All right, well, this is Randall Webbing's Emerald Amethyst aggro deck, and we're going to be pitting that against Nicholas Rausch's Amber Steel deck. These players, I don't remember if they played in the top 8 or not, so it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top in this matchup. We're going to be running Nicholas Rausch's Amber Steel winning aggressive deck through the gauntlet this week. We're going to be playing against 2 more decks down the line, so make sure that if you like Nicholas Rausch's Amber Steel deck, make sure to come back over the next few days as we release the rest of the videos. Without further ado, let's get to the matches. All right, we're here for game number 1. My man Harlan's going to be on the play. My hand is looking pretty decent. We have a very defensive curve on the draw, which I quite like. And so we're going to keep everything because everything's inkable.
Yeah, my hand was all inkables. I sent some stuff back just to get a better curve for the game. Alrighty, I am on the play.
What you got?
Let's see what I want to get rid of. I think I'm going to get rid of this Jasper. I don't see him being particularly good. I'm going to get started with a Rascal.
Oh, Rascally Pascally. All right, so Aladdin is an extremely aggressive card. When we're in the draw, I like to ink it. I'm going to play Captain Forceful Duelist.
Alrighty. Well, I'm going to get rid of this Mad Hatter because we are a long ways away from 5. Get Flynn Rider down, which gives my Pascal evasive, and I hope not to get blown out by a Fire the Cannons.
Yeah, Fire the Cannons would be real sick here. Let's see. I think I'm just going to continue being... well, I was going to say I was going to be defensive, but it's not really easy to be defensive in this spot because Flynn is punish and Pascal is awkward. So I can play Prince Eric, but my hook already challenges the Flynn. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to ink Eric, and I'm going to play Simba as a bodyguard. And then I'm going to quest with Hook to keep it protected a little bit. We could get Rafiki'd here, but we don't have a punish on the Captain Hook against the Rafiki, so I think that's okay.
Yeah, I agree. I don't actually have the Rafiki 2 punish you.
Most of us only play like 2 or 3 these days, so.
Yeah. And I don't think I'm going to need this second Pascal. I think I'm just going to be playing on curve for a while. Get my 1 here. Save my Flynn 2 points for later.
I don't think we'll need the Stitch Rockstar anytime soon. We're going to play Tinkerbell, Tiny Tactician, and we can't challenge the Flynn. So I'm just going to go ahead and quest with my 2 characters, since one of them's a bodyguard. That's one of the things about Hook that I really like is that it's so great defensively against your opponents when they have Simbas and stuff. But our bodyguards, like the Simbas and even Hercules, which isn't in the deck, but Hercules can help protect your challenger creatures so that they can quest.
Yeah, I'm in between a rock and a hard place at the moment where I do not have a good way to play around a big tink. And I'm currently losing on the current questing race. But I do not think that I can quest to try and get ahead because that just opens me up to losing everything. So I'm going to wait a turn.
All right. I'm going to play Prince Erica's Ink. I'm going to just smash this Hans because it quests for 3 and it's kind of annoying. Then I'll play New Dog. And I'm cool just questing and... Oh, I clicked loot on accident, I think. Oh, no, I quested. Good. I meant to quest, not loot.
Alrighty, things are starting to get a little rough for me over here.
Well, you're not questing or you're not challenging, so I
Well,
imagine
I,
it's
I
not
haven't
looking so
had
good.
I haven't had safe questing. Your stats have been a little bit better than mine, which definitely can be a little bit of an issue for these, standard aggressive decks. Is the good questers don't really have the best strength and willpower,
Right.
and Steel toes the line nicely where they don't have the highest lore counts, but they have good stats. I think that you may have tanked last turn, regardless, but you had the smash. I'm probably still going to get tanked, but yeah, this is bad. I think I'm going to do this now while you still might lose a card to the flip.
All right. How do we want to crush him?
Yeah.
Be Our Guest can go to Ink. We'll go Shift onto the Tink.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can't kill the Kuzco, but we can kill the Maleficent, and then that can kill the Flynn without making us discard a card. And then the rest can quest.
Yeah, I suppose it might have been worth just questing with only the Flynn, so then you have to attack the Flynn to kill the Maleficent and lose a card.
Yeah, maybe. I would have probably held Be Our Guest and discarded that.
Now we're in a rough spot because our Cusco has a damage on it, so it'll still trade with only a Captain Hook.
Just play Kuzco every turn until I die, right?
I wish if I had 3 Cuscos in my hand, it might work, but that is not the case at the moment. Alright, well, Inca Hans.
That smash on the Hans was pretty good. Like you were threatening to take control of the lore lead, and that just like kind of forced you to play into my tank. That was
Yeah,
nice.
Hans does not line up well against Smash, and typically against a steel deck, I would love to just be inking it, but I didn't have really another option, and had to open myself up to a Smash. I think I'm going to hold off on this Cusco for a turn, and importantly, the John Silver is going to make it so the Simba can't bodyguard this turn.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so I'll just go. So John Silver is going to get to eat something no matter what I do if I quest. When you play this character and when he quests. Okay, so I don't have to quest at all. I can just leave my stuff not vulnerable to the John Silver attack. So I think I'm just going to shift on top of the Stitch New Dog. And I can quest for 3, 4, 5, 6 right now up to 15. Cusco's the bad challenge, but then John Silver either kills Stitch or the Tinkerbell, but not both. But until John Silver quests, and I can immediately punish you when you do that because of the Tinkerbell and just a million other things. Quest for how much? 2. That's 5 total up to 12 next turn, and then you could play like maybe another Cusco. I'm just gonna say go. I think it's maybe wrong.
It's definitely what I needed to have happen. I do think it may have been your best option still, but it's definitely what I needed. All right, those cards were not what I needed. I needed some meat, not some potatoes.
Hey, don't you be talking smack about no potatoes, boy.
I love me some potatoes, but at this point in the game, I need some meat on the bone. So I think I might be forced to quest with my John Silver just to make the same bit of awkwardness as last turn.
Yeah.
He is going to get to eat 2 of your things, which is good. Do I expose something to it, to the Tink? Question.
That's the
Yeah,
thing
we're
about
definitely
Tinkerbell.
questing.
The moment that you turn something sideways, Tinkerbell starts to get real antsy, you know?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so didn't play anything. That means that we're probably just going to double bang into the John Silver, but let's start with playing some stuff to see if we can kind of chain off. I'm just going to play Tinkerbell face up, and then so the Simba can't quest, so that's going to go into John, and I think Captain Hook's just going to go into John, and then we just ignore this Cusco and try to race on the table, which I think we're pretty far ahead on that regard, so that's fine.
All right, all right. So you're telling me there's a chance.
I'm at 14. Is there really?
It's a small chance,
Okay.
but it's a chance.
Attacking. We love to see it. I don't think it's wrong. I just love to see it.
Yeah,
No!
yeah, the no touchy guy is not the best attacker. Right, play out these characters I couldn't play last turn because of the Tink.
All
Here's
right.
where we get big Tinked again anyway.
Ariel, sing me a song. All right. We'll get Be Our Guest. And then I am going to kill your Cusco with Tink, I think.
Yep. Yeah, just put me on less outs to come back into the game.
Yeah. Tink down. A little mini death touch there. We'll quest for 3 up to 17. And then I guess I can go Inca 6-drop and then play Be Our Guest. I think that's counterintuitive though, so I'll just
Right.
play neither.
I was thinking to myself, I kind of just need to draw a genie every turn for the rest of the game.
No. Don't you do it.
Maybe we can get there.
All right, so let's go. Ink Be Our Guest. Stitch New Dog. I'll shift onto it. Play Captain Hook Forceful. Draw a card. And I'll quest with Ariel.
Nope.
No more genies? You ran out of time?
Not a genie.
Finally.
Yeah. Yep. I'll just play them out. I'll let you have your satisfaction.
Yes! Give me my win.
This is a big genie, though. Murder this Ariel.
Bye.
Bye.
That's one way to lose your voice. Just get smashed by Genie. All right, we're here for game number 2. I won game number 1, so Harlan's going to be on the play. I have another pretty reasonable curve with mostly inkable, so I think I'm just going to keep it.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I'm just going to fire them off. I have no 1-drop this time, which I think might actually be a blessing in disguise against the steel deck.
All right. Again, we're on the draw, so the Aladdin on 2 is less powerful than I want it to be. So we're just going to lead with maybe a new dog here. Just because the Captain Hook's not going to challenge anything next turn, and Stitch at least can maybe quest, and if you want to trade with a 2-drop like Megara, I think that's fine.
Let's get rid of a Flynn. We'll play a Flynn.
Okay. That's a nice one. All right, do I just flood the board, or do I play some of my ones as ink? This is an easy quest. We get punished by Rafiki always, but I think that we just have to quest when we can and just hope that he doesn't have it basically every time. This is kind of a tough turn. I think because I'm just going to empty my hand here, I think I'm going to play one of my 6-drops as ink and then play some more ones.
All right. Well, Cheshire Cat, you were not looking very good this game.
Officially cabbage.
My draw card. Do I want to exchange a damage for a card in your hand? Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go Smash goes to ink. Tinkerbell goes here. And I am just going to go quest. And I don't know that I want to challenge the Flynn. We're still like a little ways of away. I think I'm just going to allow for some trading with the Maleficent. And I don't want the Captain Hook to get eaten by the Maleficent just yet. And I also don't really want to discard cards, so...
Alrighty, let's... Oof. How do I beat a Tink?
Seems like a universal question, you know?
Yeah. I can't really play around it, so I'm just gonna draw some cards.
What is gravity? Okay. Where does a black hole go? How does one beat giant fairy Tinkerbell?
That's one way to do it. It's not particularly good this turn, but it does get me to next turn. Let's ink a Jasper.
See ya.
And we're gonna Mother Knows Best your Tinkerbell.
Okay. It's a good way.
Quest it up. Wish we had had that to sing instead of the Friends on the Other Side, so I could have developed also, but...
Alright. I'm going to... Maybe I trade Hook for Maleficent? Hook doesn't seem that great against your deck, so I'm going to trade Hook for Maleficent while I can. And then I'm just going to go... Well, sorry, I'm doing things out of order. You're going to get mad at me. Alright, we miss on the song. I'm going to go and just ink a bell. Am I right, gamers?
Haha! Ready. How do I have 6 cards and no Cusco? What's going on here? Thought that's all this deck was.
Yeah, just all Cuscos. Look, you're going to get another Cusco when the next set comes out. 5-cost bell is very Cusco-esque.
That's true. That's true.
It's reverse
I don't even
Cusco.
have a Mad Hatter though.
Yeah. Did you ink one?
No, I did not. We're definitely going to be questing with this Mamma Jamma. We do not need this Friends on the Other Side. We just need to play to the board. And what does that better than a Hans?
All right, so
outpace you for a little bit.
This is tough. I don't really want... All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go attack Flynn. I'm going to discard a Grab Your Sword. And then I'm going to Rapunzel. Draw a card. Ooh. And now I'm actually just like fine opening up either of these to you challenging with Hans, because that means you're not questing for 3, and I can challenge back. So, yeah. Okay.
All right. As bad as that turn looked for me, I think it was actually pretty good for me. Because now I get to slam my Emerald Role Player of the Week, Mother Gothel. And now I think we might be in the driver's seat, depending on how bad this turn goes for us.
While this character is exerted, opposing characters can't quest. Okay.
It's like we're racing, But you have like a cart and buggy, and I have like a Ferrari.
All right, we're gonna draw a bunch of cards.
No.
I'm going to play Aladdin and Ink.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to play one of the tech cards from Nicholas Rausch's deck. One of the two Fire the Cannons.
Very, very good here.
And then I'm just going to go ahead and quest and then can deal with stuff next turn.
Yeah, quest him while you got him.
Yeah. Attacking with Rapunzel is a little awkward because it doesn't do that much damage, but putting 3 damage on it so I can heal 3 with the other Rapunzel is
Quest with Mother
definitely good.
Gothel.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. Let's see. I think this is a weird one to play.
I like the animation. All my stuff's got chains on them.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I just need to develop this John Silver, even though it kind of
It's redundant with the Mother Gothel.
yeah, it's a little redundant with the Mother Gothel. But if you can clear the Mother Gothel, it'll be important to take over later. So let's target a Rapunzel.
All right, what do we do here? Do I just send everything at Mother Gothel? Kind of have to. Tough game.
I know Mother Gothel's a sweet card. Yep. The onslaught of the 2/2s.
I think I'll send each of the Rapunzels in it for 1, so since they don't quite die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can keep your singer alive. Hopefully you don't have another Rapunzel. That would be horrible.
I'll go ahead and quest,
Big
actually.
boy Captain Hook.
Yeah, the big boy Captain Hook is not great, but it does shift nicely onto the baby Captain Hook if you need something early with big power for Challenger. I like that small characters can't challenge it. It has pseudo shift. It's not quite shift, but it's pseudo shift. Or sorry, it has pseudo evasive. It does have regular shift. You know what I mean. All right, questing instead of 3, and then all right. Just so they can't quest, right? Doesn't mean they can't sing.
Correct. You can still sing. Grab your sword would be great here. Yep.
Pop off the genie. Oh yeah, we got it all. Don't worry.
Oh no! Both the fire the cannons. Brutal.
Pretty good. I'll just play big hook. What's for 4? Now he's in the driver's seat, boy.
Yeah. I thought if I could have the genie live, I might be okay, but
Second fire of the cannons was quite nice.
Yeah, the second fire of the cannons was real good. Hook can have evasive, why not?
Yes. That's what he always wanted, right?
That's true. That is what he always wanted.
All right, so a nice little 2-0 for Nicholas Rausch's Amber Steel deck against Randall Webbing's Emerald Amethyst Aggro. Tell me what you thought about the match, Harlan.
Yeah, it felt like my cards were pretty good and yours were kind of great. It felt like the power level was a little bit out of balance between the two decks. It felt like we both are playing to the board, but you're doing it at a better rate, and you can affect my side of the board, and I can't affect your side. And then my ways of kind of interacting are all kind of like my 6-drops, and your deck is just all like 1s and 2s. So it just felt like I was really far behind, even once I like clawed back to even or ahead, it falls apart like almost immediately. It felt like.
Yeah, sometimes for sure it can. Grab your sword, especially combined with a couple of those other big damage dealers, can really knock off someone's ability to be aggressive or defensive. And you saw the strength of just Captain Hook Forceful Duelist in that last situation, being able to trade up with the grab your sword onto a 5/5, taking out the John Silver.
Yeah, exactly. It also just felt like Fire the Cannons was a beating and a half whenever you drew it. And then also just game one, you had the Tink.
Yeah.
And I had played around it. And then the second game, I couldn't afford to play around it at all. And you didn't have it. And it still was catastrophic. So it didn't feel very good, to be honest. So.
Yeah, look, the 3-cost Tink forced your hand with the Mother Knows Best, and I didn't even have the big Tink to punish you, so, that's just something that you always have to be cognizant of and, try to figure out your best way to play around it, but, if I have the Tinkerbell and you don't do that, you get slaughtered. And that's the big problem, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of Lost Boys Versus, but we're going to be continuing the march of Nicholas Rausch's Amber Steel deck against the rest of the field from the Invitational Qualifier. We'll see you next time on Lost Boys Versus. Big shout out to our sponsor, Games and Comics Paradise, out of Fairfax, Virginia. They're a card store that sells everything you need for trading card games, from Yu-Gi-Oh! To Pokemon to now Disney's Lorcana. Make sure to check out gcparadise.com for all your singles and accessories. They're also running a Lorcana event at their home store in Fairfax, Virginia on the October 28th weekend, so make sure to check out gcparadise.com for more information. For Harlan, Fear, I'm Tandy, and we'll see you next time.